Director of JC Zamboanga Inc., JC Aaron Son, for the welcome remarks.
Good evening, each and everyone. I am Aaron Sanson, your 2021 Local Skills Development Director, and I welcome everyone to this evening's event. So before I start, may I acknowledge the presence of our 2021 Local Organization President, First Minister Regina Natividad. We also have visitors from Davao, LSDD Kai from Lakambini, Davao. Our Secretary General, Secretary Ken Lexter Torres, Mr. Nehemia Sardea, our Public Relations Officer, Mr. Jason Saison, and of course, ASEC Gian of Zamboanga, and yeah, our esteemed speaker, Mr. Terence Hugo Tan. So, 3 months ago, I was still asking myself, why do they keep banging the gavel after they speak? And then I asked myself, what am I doing here? But then several days later, I don't know what happened, but from that night, it led me where I am today. Now I realize that I was developed not because of my achievements, but because of the apparent shortcomings and mistakes that I continually make. But I was able to run back to pick myself up, and this organization made me realize what is important in my life, where I only have to have few friends who I trust so much, and with that journey, I am starting, and there is more to come. But I am confident enough that I'll be able to be the best version of myself in the future. But then I have to learn, I have to continuously learn and mold myself to be the better version of myself. So with that, I welcome you all to this virtual event, the Laws of Highly Effective Leaders with Mr. Terence Higota.
Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction, Aaron. And of course, to the invitation by Secretary Ken and our fellow JCs over here.
Yeah.
I realized that when I was being informed, would be rather sudden. But because my brother Ken, call me to come upon, I would have to take the invitation, right? I'm also aware that the timing is not your usual timing, where your usual timing will be around 7 to 8 p.m., a more comfortable time, right? But I'm also aware that this will be broadcasted live to Facebook so that it can be rewatched and to reach the other JCs as well. So of course, I would like to congratulate on all the great missions of JCI Zamboanga that has been done. You can see in the earlier videos. And I also realized that your hashtag and also your logo are 73 years of leadership development, right? So yes, I would like to pass back the stage to Ken, please.
Yes, thank you so much, Brother Hugo. And again, thank you for being here with us. So we will not be taking much of your time, and allow me first to introduce us our brilliant and our highly esteemed speaker for this evening. So our speaker, or Mr. Hugo Tan, is a Malaysian social authority trainer and a serial entrepreneur. In the past decade, Hugo has kick-started and built businesses in education, consultancy, finance, and events management. To date, Hugo has trained professionals and key opinion leaders across Southeast Asia to become better leaders, public speakers, and networkers. Hugo believes people's skills are essential skills, the differentiation factor for career and personal success. Hugo espouses the thought that first coach the person, then the sport. Regardless of the business or life challenge you might face, it boils down to you, the person in the story. Hugo draws from proven strategies in leadership, NLP, cognitive behavioral psychology, strength finder, and emotional regulation to bring out the best in you. Equally active in community works, Hugo currently serves as a national coalition for mental well-being Malaysia, bringing together key mental health organizations under one umbrella. Hugo was also the visionary behind various social projects and was named as the outstanding Rotaractor of the year 2019 to 2020. Hugo has been featured on various media and publications such as Astro Awani, TEDx, The Star, Sinchu Daily, Property Queen, Malaysia Today, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you once again, our highly esteemed speaker all the way from Malaysia, no other than Mr. Terence Yugutan. Let us all give him a virtual round of applause, please.
Thank you once again. To Secretary Khan, thank you for the introduction. Good to see all of you here this evening. I'm not sure if this is your dinner time, because for many people they are, but yet all of you are here today. You are here right now at this time. So I really appreciate your presence, and I hope I'll be able to share a thing or two and we can learn from one another. So let me start straight away, right? Let's see if I can share my screen. All right, good to go. Okay, so leadership has been something that is very close to me. Like what Ken have said, we have known each other for a very brief period of time, but we are connected due to the community work that we done. And this is not something that is very natural to me. Why? Right? Because for a very long time, it never really appealed to me why there is a need to become a leader. Right? So I'm curious, if you are listening to what I'm saying right now, can you let me know in the chat box, why do you want to become a leader? While I share my story, let me know in the chat box. I would like to hear from you. What is the turning point in your life that makes you think like, you know what, I need to become a leader. I want to learn how to become a leader. What is your story, people? Let me know in the chat box. I would like to get to know you as well. So my story began when I was pretty young. Just like you and me, we are all Asians, Southeast Asians. Our families tends to be very conservative. They tell us to keep quiet. Don't be so naughty. Don't play around. Be obedient. Listen to your teachers. All of those are for very good intention, isn't it so? But at the same time, the mindset that is being conditioned into us is to obey, is to not to speak up, not to stand out. But in this world, in this time, what is the opportunity cost if you do not stand out, if you do not speak out, and if you do not lead? What is the opportunity cost? That's the question we want to answer today, right? And that time I was very young. I thought like that should be the formula of success. As long as I keep quiet in class, I don't go play around, as long as I'm obedient, I should be the best student. I should have a good career. I should be a top student, perhaps even. I will get married, so on and so forth. You know the script, right? But somewhere in between, it just dawned upon me. I'm not sure if you realize this, right? If you do, let me know as well. I realized this very weird thing happened. So I thought like, if I'm the quietest kid in class, if I score all the A's, supposedly I should be a character that is beloved by my friends, my classmates. Wouldn't that be? Supposedly, such a character would be the person that is most highly looked upon by teachers. And when they want to appoint someone as a class monitor or school prefect or student council president, they should be looking for such a character. However, you know what I realized? That time I was so young. I was probably say 11 maybe. And I realized something very weird. You can stay low profile, you can keep quiet, you can be very obedient. Yet, when you look around you, who are the people that makes the most friends? When you want to give a speech or you have a great art project that you want to promote, who will people gravitate to? Council president, who would they elect? And then I realized all these people in positions of influence and leaderships has attributes a little bit more than what I was being told in the script. But at that time, I have no answers to this. So I will continue sharing my story when you hear my presentation and you know what happens later. So it took me about, say, probably another 7 years, 7 to 8 years, before I finally realized people skills are essential skills. We have been told our whole life that those are soft skills. Just go and master your hard skills, right? Whether you are in engineering, whether you are in accounting, whether you're in law, right? What are the technical knowledge you should know? you should know how to cook, you should know how to jumpstart a car. All those skills are great. But if all of you are here today, you are leaders, community leaders, you are entrepreneurs, you are people who wants to do some good in the community, having hard skills, having know-how is not enough. You must be able to rally people, to connect people, to make friends, to inspire people, to get people to action. And that demands leadership. So let me check out what have some of you say in the chat box. Jason Sazen, to help other people, very noble cause. Very true, and I agree with you. As simple as you wanting to help other people, you must have some form of leadership skill or attribute. Because if not, people wouldn't want you to help them. And you'll be surprised. You know, are you the go-to person? You could have the best skill set and the answers to help the person. But if that person do not trust you, do not come to you, how are you going to lead them to a better place, right? Empower more, build an army of leaders. That's exactly what we need. We need more leaders, not more followers, to create a positive change. Some of you have DM'd me. I'm reading that as well. Because I have a solution to the problem, I'm willing to recognize the problem and act on it. Exactly. The ability to recognize problem is essential, and the ability to act on it. Nothing happens until the ideas is driven by people. President Reggie, some people out there have no voice, they have no capacity to become better. I agree with you, Press. I remember we play a game online, you know, the one whole year, I've never done so many Zoom in my lifetime, right? And there is this person who asked me, like, what is the saddest word in the English language? And I say, I don't have a lot of time to answer, but I just say it's the word potential. You know, a lot of people left this world without knowing and realizing what they can be. Some of you can be the next president. Some of you could be the next change maker. Some of you could be the next Nobel Prize winner or award-winning artist, but you will never know, right? And leadership help us lead members in right direction, exercise my passion. Exactly. Empower those who have lost, stand and find. Exactly. Wonderful. Okay, so before we begin, let's play a game, right? Let's play a game. Let's look at the screen that you have in front of you, right? Out of all these values over here, can you quickly, in 1 minute, jot down 10 things that are most important to you, 10 things that are most close to your hearts? So fellow leaders, get to action. What are the 10 things that is most important to you? Jot down on a piece of paper. Find a piece of paper in front of you, right? Or you can type in the chat room if you want. 10 things most important to you. 60 seconds. Don't think too much. Some of you will say, Hugo, but I've like 20 things that are important to me. Not true, not true. You have 24 hours every day. You know, 24 hours. You know, when you're forced to choose between A and B, you will choose one. Therefore, not everything is equal to your heart. Tell me, what is most important to you? Wonderful. Kai has put in his list: health, creativity, love, trust, God. Very nice. Ken, health, family, health, order, God. Aaron, family, health, security, impact. Usually I do this physical, I usually do it in physical events. Like I say, right, I didn't do as many Zoom as these 2 years, right? So in physical events, what we realize is that people like to look at other people answer, right? So like, you know, Kian could be looking at Hans, right? And then he's just looking next door, right? Hans, right? Family. I must write family also. If not, it doesn't sound so nice, you know. And then it looks at Ken. Ken, what do you write? You write God. I think I should write God also, you know. Just be yourself, right? What is true to you? What is good for you might not be good to another person. It's okay, you know. Conformity. Okay, that's a rare one, Ken. That's a rare one. Rarely see conformity being chosen. Press, God, love, family. All right, awesome. Okay, I think about a minute has passed. Now I need you to help yourself. Out of the 10 things you have chosen, can you strike off 5? Cut off 5. Out of 10, cut off 5. Just look at these 10 things that you have in your life. If you are forced to sacrifice 5 things that you can't have in your life, which 5 would you sacrifice? Right? You minus the 5 and then you post your top 5. Right. I saw Kai posted. Kai is quite fast, you know. Ken is here as well. Help, God, impact, respect, passion. Awesome.
You're getting good at this, Hugo.
I think others are still thinking. Okay, so for those of you who have chosen your top 5, right now I need you to repost again in the chat box, right? Repost again. Help me rank it. Number 1 as in top priority. Number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Rank it. Number 1 most important. Number 5 least important. Let me see. What is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Assistant Secretary. Gian, press, have it. God, family, love, fitness, security. I will give you another 30 seconds. Rank up your top 5, right? Rank your top 5. Jason, yep, I see you. Ken is there as well. All right, okay. So you all have your top 5 already, right? Whether on paper or on chat room. Some of you DM me as well. Okay, now here's what it means, right? Because in order to become a leader, the first thing that is most important would be self-awareness. People follow people who are certain. People follow people who are self-aware. People follow people who recognize what is it that is important to them. People follow people that knows what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses. So the first thing before you lead anyone, and that's why leadership is so important, is to first lead ourselves. Right? You have heard about this proverb, right? A man set out wanting to change the world, and then they realize it's not possible. Then he come back trying to change the country, and then he realize it's not possible. And then he come back and just go home, right? And try to change his family. You know, like what Mother Teresa say, right? If you want to change the world, go home and love your family. And lastly, he realized he can't even change his family. So he decided to just change himself. Well, I'm not here to propose that you can't transform your community. What I'm here to propose is that you have to start it with yourself. So have you ever heard that there are some leaders that are very frustrated? Like they feel that, I don't know why I've lost my motivation. And some people in their work, or maybe in their studies, right? Or even in their relationship, suddenly they feel like, you know, I've been with this lady or man for 5 years, but then I don't feel the same attraction anymore. Or like some people in their career, you know, I love this career. I sign up for this. I work so hard for the interview. I get in and now I'm bored out of death, right? I want to quit the job. Have you ever wondered why? So here's what happened, right? You know, I've done this training thing for probably like 7 years now. And there is one thing I realized is that everyone who feels frustrated at a station in their life, one of the core reasons is because they're not congruent with themselves. Whatever they are doing is not matching to their values. Let me give you an example, right? All of you look at your top 5, right? You are looking at your top 5 on paper. What are the first 1, 2, or 3 most important things to you, right? I'll give you an example, right? There is this person, let's call him John, right? So John says that he's earning good money at his job, you know, in oil and gas, but then he doesn't feel motivated at the job anymore, right? And then back and forth, and then we find out that his most important value is family. He feels that to be close to his family, but his nature of job demands him to be outstation most of the time. So what happens? If you say that you value family, but your job takes you away from your family, there is a mismatch. So what happens when there is a mismatch? You know, at the meantime, you could say you could compromise. I'm doing it for my family, you know, and things like that. But in the long run, what goes on is that there is this repressed, right? When for a long period of time, you're not doing what you say is important to you, you then become demotivated. You then become demoralized. So while John is earning a comfortable living, no matter how much money extra that he earns, he do not feel compensated enough because his number one value is family. So I want you to ask yourself, the organization that you join, the work that you are doing, is it aligned with your most important value? I see that some of your most important value is family. Does it bring you closer to your family? Does it help your family? Or does it take you away from your family? I see a lot of you put help in top 3 as well. Does your job nature affects your health greatly? Some of your jobs demands you to drink a lot, for example. It destroys your health, right? You need to smoke to fit in the social circle, and you're not happy with it. You don't have good food around your office area. Some of you put God as number 1, right? Does what are you doing actually align with what your faith is, what your faith demands, what your faith preaches? I see that at the beginning, the JC's video for Zamboanga, you know, among the very first, you know, values, you know, you put God first, right? So if you are also in this organization, perhaps it is actually aligned. Are you doing God's work? Are you doing good work for your family? So these are the questions we need to ask, right? This also helps you to understand your top 5, right? It also helps you to understand, for example, a lot of people feel that they're unable to build wealth. And then I look into their top 5 or top 10. Although this is a very simple test, it's not meant to be like super accurate, right? But what we realize is that people that have financial problem usually do not have finance or money in their top 5 or top 10. People that are not fit, that are out of shape, do not have fitness and health in their top 5. Because truth be told, you feel that 20 things are important to you, but at the end of the day, we have 24 hours, which means every day we make sacrifices. Every day we make compromises. If fitness and health is not your top 5, when it comes to, should I go for movie or should I go to gym? You will go for movies. Should I hang out with my friends or should I go to gym? I will hang out with my friends. Every single time you will sacrifice fitness because that is not the most important thing to you. There is no right or wrong. You just have to accept the consequences, right? You can't build a beach body by not putting fitness in top 5. Neither can you build wealth by not putting money or finance or your career in top 5. Not possible. You can't have a great family if family is not your priority. So before we move on, right? Before we move on, one last thing. I have this friend, right, who buy a lot of collectibles. Do you know any friends who buy toys like Marvel figurines or something, right? He always has money to buy toys. And then we asked him, right? His mom complained, why is it that my son, never has enough money to bring home? Here's the thing. Family is not his top 5. Therefore, he always has money for toys, but never has money for family. So the values run your life. So if you are still here, comment 1. Comment 1 in the chat box if you are still here before we move forward. All right, okay, let's continue. So of course, this one, you can do it in your own time to see how aligned are you to your values, right? Secretary Ken, yep, you're still here. Okay, let's go on, right? Ask yourself, your top 5, score 1 to 5, how aligned are you with each of your values? If not, what would you do? Once you set yourself right, now let's look at this. What is the definition of leadership? Leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of those in your charge. The definition of leadership has changed greatly, isn't it so? From what leadership has been 50, 100 years ago versus what is leadership now is very different. Leadership last time is about authority, and leadership right now is all about your influence. So I have a few questions for you, right? So question number 1 is, will people follow you if they don't have to? That's the first acid test, right? Or litmus test, right? For a leader. If today you are not the president, will people still follow you? Have you seen friends around you? Let me know, right? Let me know in comments if you have seen friends around you who is not the president, who is not the boss, but people follow him. When he says something, people listen. Have you met a friend like this? If you have, comment yes in the chat box. Have you met someone that whenever people wants to know where to eat, people ask the guy, bro or sis, where should we go and eat? What should we do this weekend? Do you know someone like that? Welcome, Chapter President Lakimbini Davao, President Chingai. Yes, welcome. Good to have you here, brother. Good to have you here. Press. Okay, so this is the first question, right? Just imagine today, if you don't have a title, will people still listen to you? It's a very realistic world, right? When you have title, when you is the one that pay their salaries, people give you a bit of face, which is why, Ken and I love community works, right? Because I feel when you do community works, it's a great way to see if you truly have leadership. Just imagine this, right? In community works, we don't pay anyone anything. The titles is mostly, just for formality's sake, right? I mean, it's not like if I'm the president, I have any real power over you, right? So you can do whatever you want. Basically, you come here of your own willing. So in non-profit, in service organization and community works, you can truly see if someone is a real leader. No money involved, no titles to scare people. Do people still follow you? Now, this is what I realized as well, right? I have been a part of community works for the past 8 years, longer than I've been in training, in fact. And there is a point of time, right? One of my organization, without naming names, it has over like 100 people, very active volunteers. And then at 1 year, under one of the leadership, it dropped down to 0. Just imagine this, right? 100 people, organization, drop all the way to 0 volunteers, right? And then me being one of the founding members, together with 2 more person, go back there and have a look, right? Like what has happened to the organization? We try to revive it. And then we realize that people do not see any difference in what we do. Like, for example, you say you are raising funds to distribute masks. A lot of people are distributing masks. If you say you are doing orphanage visits, a lot of people are doing orphanage visits. If you say you are raising funds for cancer, a lot of people, every year there are someone raising funds for cancer. So why you? Why not others? What is the difference? We realize over the years, more and more organizations pop up, more and more good talents pop up, more and more great leaders pop up, right? With different budget, with different media exposure. The question in today's world is, in a world of alternatives, why you? And then we realize that this very important thing, right? If you're not paying anyone's salary, if titles do not matter, if people are not entitled or being enforced to join you, it's not a question of logic or titles or money. Then it becomes a question of, can you appeal to their hearts? Can you appeal to their emotions? Can you appeal to their motivation? That's the reason why we start off with the values, right? You must know what do you value. You must know what the people that you want to follow you value. So I find out everything of the members that are with me in the organization. What do they value? Are they someone who value family? Do they love friendship? Are they coming here because of fellowship? Or are they coming here because of charity? Do they come here because of the respect? So you must be able to identify the values of all your key people. Director number 1, what they value. Director number 2, what they value. Member number 3, what they value. A great leader has to be a strategic leader. In fact, I would challenge you to open a journal to keep track of all your members. Every time you understand them, what are their values, what are their stories, why they are here, where they want to go. There must be very clear profiling of the people that follow you. Why? Only in this way you are able to realize their potential, right? So long story short, what happens is that we begin hosting street feeding, right? In the city of Kuala Lumpur, right? Twin Towers, very nice cities. But we tell people, what if I can show you the other side of the city? So we started with I think 5, 10 people, and then it becomes 20, then becomes 30. And then people just hop on, right? So, you know what? I'm going to bring you to the Silvage, right? To see how people live by the Silvage. I'm going to show you in the middle of the city what happens when it floods. It just destroys the places they live in. I'm going to show you how 5 to 6 years old live by the Silvage without milk formula to drink, without school. They are living in tents, right? I'm going to show you when you are donating all those food, they go to waste because everyone donate food, but they don't donate essential things like lady towels or mosquito repellents or even a pillow to sleep. I'm going to show you the snakes, the fishes, the turtles that they caught to resell and make a living. I'm not just going to bring you to visit them. We're going to sit down, we're going to chat with them, understand what jobs they are doing. We're going to play games with them. And we are going to follow up with them. We are going to bring them, we're going to get them jobs. We are going to see their lives transform, right? Very simple idea, and it just keeps on building, right? And the volunteers keep on coming back, and volunteers becomes members. So the question is, what qualities do you admire in your role models that make you follow them? Let me know in the chat box. Is there a leader that you admire? What qualities do you see in them? Why do you follow them? What do you like about them? What strengths do they have? right? Let me know in the chat box. Okay, I'm reading some of your DMs well. Oh, they have charisma. All right, all right. And Jason say, passion to help other people. Genuinely lending one helping hand. All right, fair enough. So you see, all these qualities that you admire in other people are the same qualities we need to think, right? How can we instill it in ourselves? That's question number one. So in front of you, there could be a white piece of paper that you write down your 5 values. Now, write down what are the qualities that you admire in your role models. Write down in your white piece of paper in front of you, right? So at the end of this session, you would have answered 5 questions on leadership. So this is the first question. What are the values? What are the qualities that you admire in your role models? Or even better, do you have a story or situation the first time you met them that makes you feel like, you know, this is the person, this is the man or lady I want to learn from, this is the man or lady I want to follow? What is that thing? What is that trigger point that makes you feel like, oh, I feel like I want to join JCI? Why? What is that thing, right? What makes you do so? Okay, let me move on, right? While you're writing on your white piece of paper. Okay, so a good leader leads from the front. Don't get stuck in the office. Get out, meet people and listen to their stories. I will go a step further, record their stories, remember their stories. Because stories tell us about what they value. A good leader helps the followers to achieve and meet their values and achieve their dreams. Learn about their stories, learn about their family, and ask yourself, as a leader, has JCI helped me to fulfill what I value? And as a leader of JCI, have I been thinking how I can meet the values of my followers, of my members? Do they get better after they join me? Do I have a plan for them? Right. So that's good. Question number 2, do people want to follow you? Right. These are some of the entrepreneurs, organizations and gatherings, you know, that we have done in Malaysia for the past couple of years, you know, bringing in young entrepreneurs together. You know, everyone needs a support group. Everyone needs a group, you know, where they can bond together over a similar passion and topic. So I'm sure JCI is something similar. All of you here value something similar. If you look at your top 5, many of you value the same things. You want to help people. You want to help people. You value passion, you value family, and that bonds you together. And if you look at people that leave an organization, they usually leave an organization that doesn't fit their values. And I'm totally okay with it. Not everyone is meant to join us, right? As the saying goes, right? Go where you are celebrated, not where you are tolerated. If you are frustrated at your work, your organization, or your relationship, jot this down, right? Go where you are celebrated, not where you are tolerated. Get off that relationship, right? Have a backup plan, start planning for your next work, your next organization, right? Even in collaborations, when I'm looking for collaborations, I'm thinking in terms, right, which organization have the same values as mine? Right? Time is limited. Don't waste time with people or organization that doesn't match you, right? So, yep, you know, peer support peer, and we built something which we call power teams, right? Like, for example, if someone in my event management company, I actually deal with hotels and resorts are my clientele. So who are the people that can work together with me? Maybe if there is any hoteliers, I'd love to know them. Then we can form a power team, right? Maybe if you do event supplies, some sort of festive supplies, if you are a supplier, I would love to know you as well. maybe we can bond together, right? Or maybe you actually supply something else to hotels and resorts. Maybe you can introduce me to the purchaser. You see, there are so many ways we can come together, and leaders brings people together. So my next question is, what is your track record? What are your strengths, uniqueness? What can you bring to the table, right? In your piece of paper in front of you, write down, what can you bring to your organization? Even if you want people to collab with you, but what can you bring? I don't know, maybe you are a good programmer, you can create websites, you're a good graphic designer, you know a lot of people in this industry, right? You have been working in this industry for the past 5-6 years, maybe. You have joined a couple of community organizations, you have served at such and such level. What is your track record? What can you bring to the table? I keep on asking these kind of questions because there's this magic thing, right? The moment you realize yourself better, you can lead better. It's a weird thing. Right? It's a weird thing. A lot of people talk about leadership. They give talks as if, so this is how you control your people. This is how you manage your people, But at the end of the day, I realized one thing. You can learn about all the things about how to control, lead, manage people, right? But if you cannot manage yourself, all those things doesn't work. It's a weird thing. Like I can teach two people. I can teach Ken and I can teach Sarah. Exact same thing, right? But if Ken has a higher EQ, if Ken knows his value, if Ken knows what he can bring to the table, Ken will succeed, but Sarah will not. Nothing wrong with the technique or system. It's the person, right? So now let's go to the next thought. So leadership is a privilege to better the lives of others, right? It's not an opportunity to satisfy yourself, right? To be fair, if you want to be healthy, happy, rich, famous, not necessarily you have to be a leader. You do realize that, right? It's not necessary that you need to be a leader. It's not necessary you need to start an organization. It's not necessary you need to start your business. It's not necessary you need to be the leader. In order for you to do charity, in order for you to get rich, famous, or happy, or leave a legacy, it's not necessary. So leadership is actually a privilege. That's why it is so rare, the skill of leadership. This is an extra thing that we do because we feel compelled that not many people can do this role. We want to step up. We want to step up. So that's the reason why we lead, right? So question number 3, do people actually achieve results under your leadership? This is a question you want to ask yourself, right? So the same thing, we have done a lot of great things over the years, one organization after another. Of course, as you know, a lot of you are well aware that I'm in a Rotary and Road Track, of course, and also in a lot of other organizations, right? I'm sure all of you are familiar as well with JCs, BNI. So all these very great community organizations that not just we have done great community work, but from there I'm able to scout a lot of great leaders and bring in together. We can work together not just in community, but also in your own personal career and also in other causes that matter. Organizations are platforms for us to do our work. What matters unnecessarily the organization, but the people that matters, right? Great people, we bring them from one organization, we bring to another. It works as well, right? Because they are great people, great talents, right? And when I meet people in community, right, people feel like, Hugo, why you spend so many hours doing all those things? One thing I believe in the causes that I champion. Secondly, is because I meet people that have the same values as me. I know people that comes here, a weird bunch of people because they are not being paid, they are willing to serve, they are willing to do extra in their lives, right? Same value with me. Where is a better place for me to get better collaborators, better business partners? Or maybe for some of you, you're looking for your next special person in your life, you know, you want to find people that have same values with you, right? If you like rock music, you don't want to find someone who read books, you know, or something like that, you know. You want someone that matches you. So how do you attract high performers and inspire high performance? So let me know right now in your organization, whether it's JCs or BNI or whether it's United Nations, what policies do you have that attract high performers and inspire high performance? What do? Write on the piece of paper in front of you. It's a self-reflection mostly. Because after writing down, you realize, many people realize they have not done anything special. They have not done anything extra, right? And that's the reason why you don't have high performers. It's the same thing like some people say, you know, I want to open a new restaurant, you know, I can cook this food, right? And then I ask them like, who are your target customers, right? And then they say, everyone who wants to eat. No, it's not everyone. Although everyone will eat, not everyone will buy from you. For example, McDonald's. Everyone can eat McDonald's, but not everyone wants to eat McDonald's and can afford to go to McDonald's or Jollibee, right? Like, for example, my parents or those elderly, right? They have McDonald's right few straight from them, but they never go there. So same thing with your organization. Who is it for really? Who should join your organization? If you tell me it is for everyone, means it isn't for no one. There is very specific age group, there's very specific values, there's very specific background and location. So if you are able to profound them, if you're able to profile them, you are able to find them. If you can't profile them, you can't find them. So let's move on. The speed of the leader is the speed of the gang. Mary Kay. I'm sure you all heard of Mary Kay before, right? So the better you are, the better your team. So transform thoughts number 4. Do your followers rise to become leaders? Again, right, in our various organizations that we have done, right, I usually works with sales organizations, for example, properties or even skincare companies in Malaysia. And a lot of them requires someone to put in a system, you know, to build in high performers, right? That's the question usually, right? How can I motivate my team? How do I recruit high performers? How do I keep them? How do I hit my KPI? You know, they don't want trainers to come in here to say some motivational quotes, right? They want people that are able to deliver, you know, results and KPI, right? And one of the most important things, and perhaps the most rewarding thing, is in this line as a trainer is you see people transform. From Aaron, who is shy and now able to speak in front of Zoom, right? From Rance, who can't recruit people to be able to recruit a whole new team. You know, these kind of testimonials, when it comes back to you, you know, I keep all these letters and testimonials, right? You know, I keep it inside a box. You know, in my events, we have these envelopes where they can put in the testimonials, so that every time when I'm down, right, I feel like, you know, why am I doing this? I just open these envelopes, right, and then I look at all the testimonials. I challenge you to do the same. Perhaps this is the most rewarding thing about being a leader. Transform people. You know, so if you are starting in year 1 as a leader, don't give up. You know, I've tried this thing, you know, for over 10 years now, right? Yeah, probably 15 years now. And I'm still trying. I'm still learning, right? A lot of mistakes along the way. When I think back, you know, it feels like it's a big joke, right? But at the end of the day, right, when you look at all the testimonials, all the people that transform, right, people who now become seniors managers, people who start their businesses, people who now leads community groups, right? It's a gift that keeps on paying. You help one person, the next person help the other person, just multiplies, right? So now the next thing you write on your paper is, how do you describe a good coach or mentor? What and how do they do it differently, right? Jot down in your paper. I give you 30 seconds. Many people can be high performers, but not many people are good mentors. Many people can be a top scorer, but that doesn't mean they are a good coach. It's a two very different skill set. Right? So what skills do you think a good coach or mentor have? Okay, one of the most important leadership lessons is realizing that you are not the most important, nor you are the most intelligent person in the room at all times. Do you all watch cartoons or animations? Right, yeah. There is one thing I realized when I was young, right? If you watch enough cartoon or animes, you realize one thing. The protagonist, the main character, usually they are not the most intelligent person. They are also not the biggest looking, the most muscular person. Not necessarily, right? Usually they put the intelligent person as a person with a specs that is very cool, right? Then the strong person is someone who is very brash, but very big and strong. But if you look at the main characters, the leader, what do you see in them that is different? I'm not sure why, but a lot of animes and cartoons, the way they put the leader character is the one that is neither the most intelligent nor the strongest, but is usually the one that is the most passionate, that has the strongest conviction. You do realize that all the main characters are people that are highly passionate about the cause. They are the most gung-ho person. They are the most never say die person. When the whole team is demotivated, they are the person that keep on charging forward again and again and again. You know, they fail. Every time they fail, they power up and then they go back again. You know, and then throughout the series, you see them grow. They power up again and again. They start from becoming not the most intelligent, nor the strongest, but they always end up with becoming the person that people love and trust the most. And these are the type of people that people follow. If you realize all the main protagonists, doesn't matter it's a drama or animation or cartoon, you realize that usually the main characters are the characters that can make friends easily. They have a way that even the enemies respect them sometimes. So that's the same question to you. Have you developed such a character? So then my last question to you is, do people follow you because of what you stand for? Right, over the years, right, I've been speaking in front of, for startup events, I've spoken in front of entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, community leaders, right? But I still have a very long journey to go, right? And in fact, a lot more people, I'm sure, have done a lot more than me. But just look at me, right? Despite the whatever limited time that I've spent, so many people that we have been reached out to, so many stories that you can hear. And these are the reasons why people follow someone. Because you offer them an opportunity, as in, Ken, I know you are good, you are talented, you have this skill set, but you don't have this opportunity, right? If you join our organization, we give you an opportunity to make an impact at a scale that probably you can't alone, but together we can do it. That's the same thing I offer in every organization. You know, you're probably smarter than me. You probably have more credentials than me. But the course, the network, the community that we have built will enable you to use your skill set at a much higher level. If you do it alone, you can. I know you are good, but you can only reach out to this many people. But if you join me, this is the scale we are looking at. This is the impact we are looking at, right? And for community organizations, right now, every year we are not visiting homes. We are adopting homes. Basically, we pay for every month. We pay for their utilities. We pay for their children's. Recently, we also buy them new school uniforms because suddenly the government says you can now go back to school, right? We get them scholarships once they are forced to leave the homes. We basically plan to watch them from their kids until they grow up. This is what we do at homes, right? And then we started another academy for skills, right? To teach people skills like coding, graphic designs, right? And yes, of course, our homeless straight feeding, we keep on moving on as well. So all these are pressing issues in our communities. I want to show them that they join a company and organization that not only advance their career, help them meet new people or make some money, but also they have great positive impact on the community. That's the reason why they keep coming back. So my last question for you today is, what is your organization big why? Who do you serve? And what do you see? What do you hope to see transform in this world? Let me know in the chat room. Write it down on your paper, paste it on your wall. What do you hope to see transform in this world? What are you fighting for? Right now, last year, I was just being recruited for to join the National Coalition for Mental Wellbeing Malaysia, because mental health is a big issue that plagues us, not just in Malaysia, but Southeast Asia. I just read Channel News Asia. Thailand has the highest suicide rate in the region. It's an important problem, but no one is tackling it, right? So what we do is we bring together 40 organizations, mental health organizations in Malaysia under one umbrella. People don't know these 40 organizations, but under one umbrella, we can make a difference together. So the same opportunity is being offered. I know you're good, but my job, as a leader, as a community builder, is to offer change maker a platform where they can scale and make bigger impact. So let me read out, some of your big whys, right? I don't think it's popping up in my screen. It's okay, I'll read it in a while. So a leader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, shows the way, right? So to sum it up, if you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. That's the beauty of leadership, right? Bringing people together. So with this, I would like to also give something to my audience every time. So this is a free ebook that is unrelated to what I'm speaking, but something extra, a beloved book by many people. I'll be glad to send you the link and you can go and download it yourself. So if you're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, you can always find me there. I'll be glad to hear more from you and what is it your organization is doing. All right. So with this, back to you, Secretary Ken.
Yes, there you have it, Mr. Yugutan, and it's very informative, very reflective, and very nice talk on the essentials or the laws in effective leadership. Okay, so point taken. Number one, what strikes me the most is that people do not see the difference in the things that we do, especially as advocates, young advocates in the community. I think this happens when people fail to realize the cause and the purpose of being a youth in the community. Like they are just having this stereotype or this norm that we youth cannot do something in our community, that we youth are not capable enough of doing something in our community, that we are not capable of making this world a better place. And that is why we are doing these campaigns, we are doing these, we are already injecting into different organizations, into different group of people who are, you know, fossilized already in the society, as we say, or as we term them, because they are doing for how many years they're already been in the society doing things and stuff, and they themselves or these people are the only people being recognized to do something in the community. Let's say, for example, the government or other big organizations, and there we have the youth or the young ones who are, let's say, passionate enough, but yet not well, how do I term this, that but not well appreciated or not well accredited by the things that they do. Yeah, so second point is that it says that as a leader we must transform other leaders. Yeah, we build an army of leaders for the future, and as well as our positions do not matter in the service and in the things that we do. Yeah, so we always say in JCI that being a leader, you need not to be in the position. You need not to be the president. You need not to be the secretary or the LSCD or etc. for you to be able to provide your service to the community or to the chapter itself. Being a member or involving yourself into different civic organizations, into different movements, already give you the opportunity, already give you the power, already give you the space or the avenue for you to help people. And that is why we always term it, or we always remind our members and our comrades to take it effectively, to take it efficiently, to take it responsibly and seriously. That being a member, or let's say Rotary or JCI or other big organization in the world, allows us to, you know, to be able to share our passion, to be able to share our advocacies to these people. Because that's what Hugo said, diba? That being in the position or being a youth in our society means actually we're doing more compared to those who are, let's say, doing, or let's say we are terming them like they already have this distinction with them or this honorifics before their names, because we actually see what is happening in the society, or we actually see or what is happening in the grassroots level, and that is why we are getting ourselves involved. We are trying to involve ourselves into this organization for us to be able to answer or to address these claims. Yeah. So another point is that I think yeah, this one. The thought or the thing that we members of an organization can bring to the table, or what characteristics or traits of us can be best used by the organization. So, I just would like to raise a contention that being a member of the organization um, shall not necessarily require you to have this skill, or shall not necessarily require you to have this soft or hard skill for you to be able to qualify to become a member. Because like JCI, we are a training organization, we are a leadership organization, and we are a learning organization. And that is why we are inviting these young kids or these individuals who are hiding on their shelves, who are hiding on their cabinets because they are afraid, or not necessarily afraid, because they are not exposed, or maybe no one has acknowledged their presence, acknowledged their credibility, or acknowledged their skills or their strength, that they can be a catalyst of change in the community. Yeah. So I think I've said a lot. Yeah. So again, Hugo, thank you very much for being with us. And I guess this is now the time for our open forum. So shall we have questions, queries, or clarifications to our speakers? It is now the right time for us to raise it. Yeah, you can comment your questions in our chat box. You can PM it, or you can display it to everybody, or you can unmute yourself. Just raise your hands. Yes, Hugo, we will do more collabs sooner. Yes.
Definitely, definitely.
Yes, yes, yes.
And thank you for your very insightful recaps. I guess you have been paying attention.
I need to. you know, kidding aside, when it
Yeah.
is always nice to listen, not just to hear. It is always nice to
Mhm.
listen to these people who are well experienced and who are, who are open-minded to people, or, open-minded to teach other people or to empower other people. Because,
Mhm.
you know, we do not claim ourselves as leaders. We claim
Mhm.
ourselves as advocates only, right?
Mhm.
We are not leaders in the sense na we do a lot of things, we do a lot of community works and etc. We are just advocates. Yeah. So do we have questions? Okay, I think we have questions. Someone PN me. So
Okay.
what is your key takeaway in the ongoing pandemic, and majority or most of the activities or most of the aids are coming from the youth sector? How do we go about it?
Okay. Let me just put in the link. I nearly forget about the ebook, right? Wait. Okay. There you go. Okay. Is there a way we could make people, even if they don't necessarily need to follow us? Definitely, definitely. I think a lot of leadership nowadays, is all about influence, right? Like what people say, everything, rise and falls based on influence. We cannot hardly compel people to follow us. That's a challenge, right? In the workplace, for example, a lot of say Gen X, right? They say that the millennials or the Gen Z, they have no, what do you call that? They have no job loyalty, right? They have no loyalty to the organization, which is, and there has been a lot of talks on how do we find and retain, and how do we best manage talents, from the millennials or Gen Z, for example. I think the question is, you can't just put a carrot and stick, or you just can't put, policies or legislation and just compel or force people to follow us. People nowadays have choices, and most importantly is people don't really leave teams, people leave people. That's also a very important realization. So the question number one would be, are you a person who is worthy of following? Are you someone worthy to be followed? Question number two is, have you profiled the person? Have you profiled your followers? It's the same thing whether you're growing an Instagram page or whether you're trying to recruit people into a JCI or your business. Have you profiled what type of people would be best attracted to your organization? Like I say, right, if you don't profile them, you can't find them. What I meant by profiling, meaning, do you know what age group that you can best influence? Do you know what age group that your social media or platforms can reach, right? Or where your advertising can reach? Do you know what values does these people that will be most attracted to your organization? Do you know what is their career goals or community goals that they have, right? So the better you understand yourself and the better you understand the person that you want to attract or retain, the better this whole leadership management thing would go, right? So yeah, start with the profiling. I'll give an example, right? A lot of companies nowadays, they try to be more, they want to show that they actually invest in their people, right? Last time people just go to office and work and then go back home, right? Now they try to have colleagues gathering and fun day at office, casual work day, sit wherever you want, open office concept, and then they give you some certs, best employee of the month, kind of thing. So, and then they have a lot of games. They even put a pool table in the office or something like that. They've been trying. Why? Because they are trying to appeal to a certain group of people. For example, if a company knows that a lot of their workers are ladies, right? And a lot of them are mothers or mothers to be. Some of them even set up, say, a K center at their companies. That is an example of understanding who are your followers. So the same thing for JCI or any organization you're part of. Usually the people who join you, what are they looking for? How can you ease their life better? How can you help them realize their goals? I'll give you another example. For example, in my community club, some of our recent recruits, right? We have 2 pageant queens, and then we have, I think we have 2 more doctors, 2 more medical doctors and 2 more lawyers. New recruits, right, recently. Why do they join us? What do you think? Why do you think they join us? I'm not talking about my business. I'm talking about community clubs. Why? What do you think they can achieve through us?
Yeah, can I answer?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, please, sure.
Again, we go back to the contention that it is like finding our better half or our partner. We look at our common goal. We look at our common value or equal purpose of why we're being in that organization. And by saying that they are doctors, they are beauty queens, they are, what's the other one?
Lawyers.
Our lawyers. So preferably they're gonna be busy with their very own career, with their individual career. But the question is, why would they even want to be with your organization, with your group? Is it because of the cause or the advocacy that you are championing? And of course, when we are with these organizations, we are also developing, we are also evolving ourselves, we are also progressing. You do not stay stagnant to like being a lawyer, being a doctor, or being a beauty queen. We need to immerse ourselves into various platforms. That's what they say. We need to expand the horizons of our frontiers of skills and etc. Right. So I think, for me, I think that's the answer.
Definitely. I think Ken definitely highlight the, it's not about what we want. First we must be clear about where we are going. Secondly, we must find out what people's want. For example, every pageant queen needs an advocacy, right, or a cause to champion. Well, they can start their own advocacy or cause organization, or they can just join me. An established platform. And with good support system, proven systems on how to work, and with already a group of people or volunteers working, which one can help his or her advocacy better? Simple question. I know where they are going. We are very clear about what they are looking for. And just like what Ken said, right? It's like looking for a partner in a relationship. It's the same, right? I know what you are looking for. I have what you want, and you have something that you can offer. Let's come together. That's the beauty of collaboration, right? I know why you want to become a lawyer. I know what inspires you to become a lawyer. Everyone has some idealism on why they choose a certain profession, unless you are forced by your parent. I understand the story. Surprisingly, my organization have something that fits your ideals. Maybe you can be part of it. Make it happen. A lot of people want to become doctors too, but they don't know that doctors are working around the clock. It's a very tough life. But I know you all are a very caring person. That's the reason why you become a doctor. I know the causes that you care for. I also happens to know even your family has a lot of volunteers. I can understand perhaps it's a family value that you always give back to your community. Such a person with such values is a great fit for my organization. So that's what profiling does. Understanding what people needs, see if it matches with our vision. We bring them on board, we groom them, we make them successful, and naturally, our organization will be as well. So yes, back to you, Ken.
Yeah, so yeah, Hugo is so eloquent. Yeah, he was able to deliver the question effectively and, intelligently. So for the next question, since you're talking about the laws of highly effective
Yeah.
leaders, the question is, in one word, how can you describe an highly effective leader?
Highly effective leader. One word,
Yes, yes, yes.
influence. Influence. That is the thing that people need to get, right? What are the for example, that I'm a trainer, right? I help people to gain social authority, but what does it even mean, right? A lot of people ask me. Basically, I feel like we need to rename soft skills into life skills. They are life skills, they are essential skills, right? From how to reprogram our mindset, from how to sell, how to speak, right? How to network, how to lead. These are the skill sets that I advocate. These are the skill sets that I teach, that I share, that I learn every single day. I've been so obsessed with this whole thing, right? Right from the day I feel there is something wrong with what is being taught to me. That time I was probably 11, 12. It took me so many years, right? I only started this when I was, say, 16, 17, when I finally realized, how can I not realize this? The answer is influence. That's the influence. The difference between where you are versus where you want to be, the gap between, is all about communication. If you can communicate effectively to your customers, to your potential spouse, to your mentor, to me, to JCs, to your district, if you can communicate well enough, you can get from A to B, just like that. It's just a matter of communication. If you can communicate and lead properly, your clubs would have more members. True. If you can only network better. Have you heard that your network is your net worth? Oh, you never heard of that? Yeah, I probably need to. Thank you,
Yes.
Sadia. Your network is your net worth. You probably need something that we need to write on paper. It also doesn't make sense to me when I first heard it. I didn't know that people are so important. And yeah, have you thought about this, right? A lot of people know how to do work, but they do not know how to become a proper human being. That's the reason why they don't succeed. Right? Learning to talk to people, learning what are their love language, learning about their attachment style. Are they a person who need personal freedom? They don't need personal freedom. Learning about how to branding, learning public speaking, right? Learning how to close a sale, learning how to present point by point, right? If only we get better at all these things, I'm sure you will achieve whatever you want. You will get your relationship, you'll get your new house, you'll be at the leadership position, you can improve your community. So every day I challenge myself. I just look at this, right? When I go out and then I see that there is pollution, and I see that there is injustice, when I see there is double standard, when I see that there are bullies, right? When I see people getting fired, people are not being compensated properly, when I see all these problems in this world, I just ask myself this question. The reason why there are all these problems is because you and me are not better leaders. That's the reason why we need to improve ourselves. That's why Ken have webinars, right? It's like nearly every day. Yeah. So yeah, we are here for an important cause, right? Our communities could be better if only we are better. If our community are not better, it's because we are not better. So back to you, Ken.
Yeah. I would like to raise a contention and the notion raised by Hugo, no, that we are
Yeah,
not having our, or we are not creating any changes in our community because we ourselves feel that we are not better. And that is why the slogan of JSI is that we always want to be better. Yeah, so I think being with JCI allows us to think that in every single second that we are part of JCI, we are advancing the cause of not just developing ourselves, or not just the movement of being better individual, but also transpiring it or transcribing it into actions that we need in our community. That is why we are conducting several programs, several projects that are inclined to our vision. And that is why we are also adhering that being better is a responsibility, and I think it's a responsibility and a shared responsibility of everybody. Because again, we cannot be better if we are not um, going out in our community. Like for example, what Hugo said, he realized to himself that he is not a better leader because he can still see some injustices, inequalities, unpaid workers, and etc. And that is why this should be a call to everybody that whenever we go outside of our home, whenever we go outside of the doors or gates of our home, we must realize that being part of any organization, we must be better individual for us to be able to cater not just our personal development or individual development, but also the development of the mankind itself. Because we all want to live you know in a stable, in a good standing situation, right? So I guess Press Reggie wants to say something. Go on, Press.
Hi, brother Hugo Tan.
hello,
I'm
press.
listening to you. Uh, your words are very inspirational. There are times in life that we try to help, we try to be better and to change others. But there are also times that it's also frustrating when we try to help others. Um, they don't want to change themselves. That's why, as a JCI president, there are these programs that we do for sustainability, not to um, instantly change the person or the community. It's a long term solution to the problem, because in life, um, we cannot just do change things in an instant, because if there is a change, there's always a resistance. And just like what you have mentioned, when we talk about being better, uh, regarding your network, your net is your net worth. Actually, it is true. Um, when you have the credibility, you use this. Actually this having a lot of uh, uh, network through communication is a very powerful tool. Why? Just for instance, if you are going out of a community, you're helping out. There, these people are, they don't have the voices. They don't have the voices. So as a JCI president, what I do is I try to reach out through my network people. I let them realize that there is a need to change, or we need to put up a program for that certain community. So basically, it's not just about having a financial prowess or financial stability when we are talking about being better. So I believe in my disposition right now, I it's I have a powerful tool to change the world in a JCI way. How? Through my network. Because if I go out as the president, and if I meet people, just like for example, if I meet the general of the um I can share to them the story of those people who have no voice in the community. That's why I'm very blessed, even though money is money is not of money is up an issue at times, but um, somehow, some way, if you really want to change the community or change for the better, you can do it. It's just a matter of a mindset, the right mindset. That's like what you have mentioned when you go out. You have to have that proper right mindset to change the world, because there's a lot of criticisms already. There's already a lot of doubters, a lot of people who put you down, a lot of negativity, a lot of one. But there, all the people always just wants to be ordinary, di ba? They don't think how powerful they are if they just know just the opening of your story, di ba? Yung potential. If people really knows their potential, and if they're also humble enough, di ba, to accept um positive criticism or even negative criticisms, to the for us to be a better person, or for us to be a better leader. And that's the thing that would really matters the most, because it's not easy being a leader. But I believe somehow, in some way, at the end of the at the end of the line, you would understand how satisfying it is if you are able to help others. So that's all, Hugo. Thank you.
Thank you, President. That's a very, very touching sharing. I think for all of us who are listening today, this is what we want to convey. What our president have just mentioned, right? On each of our shoulders, we could be a big leader, a small leader. All of us are influencers. Maybe when you are listening to this, you could be saying like, Hugo, but no, I can barely influence anyone. Maybe you can influence only your family, your siblings. Maybe you can influence your neighbor. Some of you can influence your community, your organization. But each of us has a role to play. And the journey of leadership does not begin straight away. Impact doesn't happen tomorrow. Just like what President says, we are in this for the long run. No one started out good, right? Like what we have shared just now, I myself make a lot of mistakes, over the years. But that's what we need to do as leaders, right? And that's why people follow us, right? Because people see that you are someone who failed forward, right? Who, when you are faced with doubters and difficulties, you are not a person that give up. There could be smarter people than you, stronger people than you, with more network than you. But the question is, they give up, you don't. They don't care, you care. Perhaps that would be the difference, that we can make. I think becoming a leader starts with you not even having a title as a leader. From this moment onwards, tonight onwards, you have to make a commitment with yourself. You have to make a promise with yourself. So many times you promise other people, you didn't keep. But today you need to promise yourself. Right? Like what Ken said, we have a responsibility to our community. We have a responsibility to our dreams. We have a duty to our family. And that's why we need to become a leader. Our family is waiting for us. Our community is waiting for us. Our country is waiting for us. They are just waiting. Like, why Gian, why Arno, why Ken isn't stepping up yet? Your country is waiting for you. I mean, this is a new era. We are very blessed to witness the beginning of a very, very new era. like never before. People are more connected than ever before. You can reach more people than ever before in history. You have access to YouTube, to information, to talks, to knowledge. I think that just wipe up all the excuses, right? Now it's just up to you. So back to Ken.
Yeah. So, addition to that, no, as what Press Reggie said, being a leader is very hard, especially in these trying times. Like, also to what Hugo said, no, that, again, we go back to our purpose of why we are here, and that the community, our country, and the humanity needs us. And going back to the previous question, no, I failed to share this a while ago. That in the course of the pandemic or in the course of the lockdowns in the different parts of the country, or especially let's take it in the context of the Philippines, I have seen a lot of youth or young individuals are getting themselves involved in, providing support, providing aids to these people who are in need, especially in the need of medical supplies, in the needs of how do you call this, their food, their daily living, and that is for survival. And that is how I realized that being a youth or being a young individual in the city of Zamboanga or in the Philippines as a whole is never a hindrance for us to be able to be recognized. Let's say we do not take the recognition with us. Let us not take the recognition with us, but we take the purpose, we take the reason, we take the genuine intention for us to provide aid, to provide help into this community. And I think one of the most highlighted advocacy that I've seen in the course of the pandemic or the lockdown is that especially as a teacher or as a prospective teacher, it hurts my heart, it hurts my being seeing our schools being shut down. Like on the span of time, schools are being closed. Then platform shift have emerged, no, with the use of, let's say, modular, with the online schooling. And then I saw this group, the Lampara Dream Project. They are believing that the quality of education must be maintained even though we are experiencing pandemic. And that is why this group of people, this group of individuals, they're all scholars, conducted this call for the nation. They conducted this, like, you can donate 20 pesos, if I'm not mistaken. Every person, they are seeking for 20 pesos for them to be able to generate resources to buy, let's say, they are the recipients, I mean, the recipients are schools from the far-flung areas. Those who have, since mobility is as hard as rock during the pandemic, no, this group of individuals targeted these schools in the far-flung areas. Then they donated books, then they donated papers, printers, inks, and etc. that can be used for the education purposes. So, what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, is that we should never question one's credibility in helping other people, especially as regards to age, as regards to gender, as regards to social status. Because at the end of the day, it all goes back to our intention, our genuine intention to help or to elevate people. Because again, developing our country, developing our world is a shared responsibility. Not just Hugo's role being here with us, speaking about how to become an effective leader, not just me supporting Hugo's claim and President Reggie's claim, or not just the cause of JCI, but it is a shared responsibility that we must take into action, that we must perform. Yeah, so that's it. And I guess another question came. I think this is somehow personal for Hugo, no, for our dear speaker. The question is, what are your secrets in successfully influencing people?
Okay, thank you for the again for the summary of insights by Ken. I think he's an excellent moderator. What is the secrets to influence? Well, that's a big question. I think again it goes back to first you must know how you yourself are being influenced. If you have read my credentials, I've actually always wanted to study psychology back in school and college, right? But I ended up studying accounting and finance, right? I mean, my family only see accounting, engineering, law, doctor as a viable profession. Psychology is not a thing. But because of my own personal passion, later on, when I started my career, I took on a lot of different qualifications to learn about therapy, to learn about neuro-linguistic programming, to learn about hypnotherapy, because I would like to understand what actually influenced the mind and how our mind actually works. And I believe that this understanding and this study of the mind has actually helped me to understand how to better influence other people. And a lot of time, I think people follow people when, whatever that is being done, like you go to a restaurant, you see a restaurant with a lot of people, you feel like, oh, that restaurant must be good. It's just people influencing people, And if you see like a celebrity endorsing this product or restaurant or app, a lot of people will rush to download it, to use it. Again, we will see that people follow people, and especially if you are an authority. So I think the step number one to becoming a better influencer is, first, you must be self-aware. Number two, you must study the mind. And number three, you must become an authority in your field. Look, I never say that I'm an authority in, I'm not an authority in cooking, in environment, in rocket science. I choose a field and I stay on into the field. I become good at the field because I spend a lot of time, hours, blood and sweat in the field. That's why I become an authority. The people that did not become an authority are people that try to become a jack of all trades. They are okay at here, they are okay at there. They spend 2 hours here, they get bored. They spend 2 hours there, they get bored. But what if consistently every day you spend 4 or 5 hours on one subject? I'm not an influencer for all subjects. I'm an influencer in a few specific subjects. And that's the same thing for all of us. None of us can influence everything, but all of us can influence something and someone. We got to pick our battles, right? So I've made it very clear, right? I think about like 2 years ago, I'm going to focus on mental health. So as you can, if you follow me on Instagram, it's like every other week there is some mental health collab or something. That is going deep into something. I'm not going wide. All the other things I still do. I do children courses, I do environment, I do this, I do that. But mental health is my topic, right? I go deep. Every other week you will see mental health. I will get certification, I will get my training, I will spend time talking to people in that, and that's how you become an authority. So the same thing with you. What is your topic? What is your goal? Right? My topic is people skills and mental health. What are yours? I don't talk about anything except people skills and mental health. So I lead this fight, and I hope you will lead your fight too. So back to you, Cam.
Yeah, that is right. No, with the contention that we must first ask ourselves, that we must first find the thing or the advocacy that we really want to do. It's because it is again backed up by our experiences, by the things that we see that are in need in our community. Let's say what you guys saying, he is an advocate for mental health. Not purely mental health, but he is focusing his terms, his conditions in mental health because he saw the need of advocating mental health, right? So in JCI, we saw the need of empowering people. We saw the need for us to empower people, and we saw the need for us to provide opportunities to other people. Not just to be like, maybe not to be like us in JCI, but somehow to elevate them, but somehow to empower them that they can do something in their community. And that is why I would like to quote Hugo saying that we must go into places that we are celebrated, not where we are tolerated. By this phrase where we are celebrated, it means that our skills, our advocacies, our intentions, our, you know, our purpose, our plans are being encouraged, are being highlighted, are being acknowledged by these people. Not on the things that they say that let's just leave those people behind because you are not responsible for them. They are responsible for themselves. And again, we go back to the contention that developing our society is just like what we have, the talk that we have earlier or last week on women, saying that we do not only need to empower men, we do not only need to empower women because it's Women's Day. We do not
Mm,
only need to empower women, but we also need to empower men. We need to empower equal parties for us to be able to effectively and efficiently progress our society. And that is why, bring it in this context, we must empower our leaders, we must empower our followers, because both leaders and followers are important in our community. Yeah. So to end the open forum, I would like to leave a code saying, to do or not to do, at the end of the day, we either fail or we either succeed. Because whenever we do things, whenever we decided ourselves, or whenever we say to ourselves that I am going to do this, at the end of the day, we will be succeeding in doing this. Like what Hugo did, he told himself 2 years ago, I will be focusing on mental health. And that is why now here is Hugo being an active, efficient, and very effective advocate for mental health. If you could think that he cannot do that, or he will not be a mental health advocate for the past 2 years, do you think Hugo will be a member of the National Coalition for Malaysian Mental Health? Of course not, because he thought to himself that he do not want to advocate for mental health. And as JC, I remember, again, they go back to the contention of our mission, our vision, and our tenets, that we must adhere to this, and we must empower people about this, and we must expand the advocacy, the things that we are doing for the community. Yeah. So, any last question, suggestion, or words to our speakers? Or
we
you
have
have
5 more minutes.
yeah, yeah.
We have
Go
5 more
ahead.
minutes. Yeah, I have a next meeting. Yeah.
Any last words, you go.
Okay. So I think well, happy to see all of you today. It's a very private group, but I can see all of you are very passionate about leadership. All of you are very passionate about helping people, about advancing your community, and I think that's what matters most, right? I think leadership is so special because although it begins with understanding ourselves, it goes on to making us someone that looks beyond ourselves. Because in order to become an effective leader, you must be someone who don't just focus on your own needs. You learn to think about what are the needs of other people. You learn to be selfless. You learn to take care of people. You want to know about people. And all these are ingredients to become a better leader. So I would say perhaps the most special gift from leadership is that you actually become a better human being. It's a weird thing, you know? You don't start it because of yourself, but if you pursue this journey, which I challenge you to, you will love the person you see in the mirror. It's a great journey. So back to you, Ken.
Yeah. So calling once. No other, last words and etc. Yeah. So on behalf of JC Zamboanga Yugano, we would like to extend again our deepest and highest appreciation for answering the call to be our speaker for this day. And indeed, you never fail to inspire us. You never fail to empower us with your words, with those 5 questions, with those 5 enlightening questions that you have with you, with all the pictures, with all the quotes that you have with you. You were able to move us to to assess to us if we are an effective leader in our own cause. And that is why we are presenting this certificate of appreciation. Yun. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Certificate. Let me first read to you. Certificate of appreciation is hereby given to Terence Yugotan of the National Coalition for Mental Well-being in Malaysia in sincere recognition and commendation of his invaluable expertise imparted during the implementation of the JCI ZLIP, webinar on laws on highly effective leaders held last March 15, 2021, given this 15th day of March 2021 at Zamboanga City, Philippines. Signed by the 2021 President of JC Zamboanga Inc., JCI Nino Reggie Natividad, and the 2021 Local Skills Development Director of JC Zamboanga Inc., JCI Aaron Sanson. Yun. So, we will be emailing you with the e-copy of this certificate, Hugo. And yeah, before anything else, shall we have a photo opportunity? And may I request everyone to open their camera. Okay. Let me see those beautiful smiles. Yon. Okay. And LSDD. Okay. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, well. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do the M sign for the American Sign Language, for the letter M. Like that.
M sign. Okay.
Yeah, for the American Sign Language. Because Hugo, we for the
Yeah.
purpose of reporting, we have this
Yeah.
hand sign, for our